user data. So they'll lean on your listening history, the songs that you've liked, the songs that you skipped, and how long it took you to skip them. That's very important, by the way.
I just
That's
hate it so much. I feel like
I
I'm
know,
being
it's
watched.
crazy. It's bro, we're being controlled. What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 130 of the 30% podcast. I go by the name Afamefuna. My co-host goes by the name Sam Jedediah Are, and today we are delighted to come again on this fateful day and deliver what might just be the greatest podcast audio delivery in history of mankind. Sam,
You're doing a lot.
do you agree with my sentiments?
No, you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot. But see, if I say no, I don't agree, you're going to say I'm downing your
Exactly.
what do you call it? Yeah. So I will not fall for that trap.
You're downing your podcast. But anyway, how are you doing, bro?
Well,
What's up?
I am okay. I'm great, actually. I'm fine. I took a really weird nap in the earlier today. It was a weird nap, and the dream that I had was kind of weird. I don't know whether it's just me. Do you have dreams when you lie in specific positions, or is it just me?
Okay. Well, I don't. Before I even unpack that, like, you're right though. Whenever you have those weird naps, like during the day, like at 3 p.m., you usually end up having the weirdest dreams for some reason.
Yeah.
Especially like if you're like on the couch or something. I don't know why. I don't know why that
it's
is.
weird dream science. I think dream science is one of the most least studied sciences in the world, if it's a science at all.
Wait, is that a thing? Is dream science a thing?
I mean, yeah, the science of dreaming.
That's a thing.
And what happens when you dream, and yeah, it's not widely researched. I do not know why. There is some research about it, but there's not like conclusive research like with other things. And it's such an interesting phenomenon.
Do you believe that dreams could be like alternate realities?
Just like that. I think a majority of dreams are just your brain sorting through information.
Yeah.
And your brain, our brains are really complex, and so the way they sort through information is probably going to be very complex. And so when you see a dog running across a green field, running to climb a guava tree, and the guavas are guavas, right? You know in your mind they're guavas, but they're pineapples, and they all have charging ports. Your brain makes sense of that, but when you wake up, it doesn't work well with reality. So I don't know. So I found that when I lie down in specific positions, my brain decides to tap into some alternate realities, and I've had some strange dreams. Anyway,
do you typically remember your dreams? Because there's a lot of people who always wake up and just don't remember their dreams.
Sometimes, well, it depends on how impactful the dreams. Because I also lucid dream where I'm aware that I'm dreaming. Like in this one, in today, I was aware I was dreaming. I think I was paying some pay bill for something, and so when I woke up, I was like, oh, I was like, dang, I wish I had paid more attention. Then I would have kept that pay bill that I saw in my dream and actually tried to pay something into it to see what company or service that was for, like in real life, and whether my brain was doing something spectacular or. Yeah, so it's weird. There's times where I lucid dream and then I'm able to like manipulate it and know when I'm awake or not. So I remember those ones. Then there's other times where it's super fantastic, but then I think that's just like a really tired sleep and it's gone. Oh, and then there's situations where as an artist, I've had dreams about melodies. Have I said that before? I feel like I've said that before. I've had dreams about melodies.
You mentioned about can we even say his name nowadays? Well, a certain... Okay, no. Anyway, yeah. You said you had the dream for the melody for Kanye West's song.
Oh yeah. All of the lights. Yeah. So there's times I've had like melodies and stuff in my brain, and like, oh, this is a really good song. Then I wake up immediately and record it. So that's the closest I come to bridging my dreams and reality. But
dreams and nightmares, man.
Dreams.
Shout out to McMill.
Why?
I have no idea why I said that, Sam. Honestly, I have no idea.
Why? Why are you shouting out McMill in a podcast
idea.
primarily to the Kenyan people? What's going on your side of things, I guess? If anything.
On my side, man, things are chilling. Working on a few things on my own personal life. And yeah, just trying to find my way out here in New York still. It's a very intimidating city, can be. And yeah, but as far as it's concerned, like, the weather has been amazing. So I've been trying to go out a little bit more. The other day went to the park with a friend, and it was pretty cool, man. Just seeing all the people outside and everything. Yeah, so that was fun. Been listening to a lot of music, a lot of R&B, man. Listening to this one artist called Sailor. She's so cool. I've been listening to a lot of Destin Conrad as well. I'm in an R&B vibe right now. Like, that's my thing. I'm just like, yeah, don't you just go through phases where it's like there's times where I'm just listening to Afro beats the whole time, or just like, you know what I mean? Speaking of Afro beats, I was watching randomly ended up watching Santi. You know, nowadays Cruel Santino streams on Twitch, and he did a random stream where he just decided to pop out and go to Odumodu Black's like I think they have like a studio or whatever, and he was there with TZ and everything, and they were making music. I think Santi or Cruel Santino I'm just going to call him Santi from now on. Anyway, I think Santi has like a project he's working on, and yeah, man, they just went to the house and were recording me, and I just found it so interesting because how things happen at the highest level, or like at the higher levels of the music industry, is not necessarily what you would think. Like, there's actually like a lot of times it's less structured than you'd think. Because bro, Odumodu was like, they were literally just in the house. It was an engineer with a laptop. They were recording into a microphone, no pop filter. First of all, Odumodu was holding
SM, you know, the long black Shure microphone that everyone uses. Yeah.
That one, bro, and he was just holding it and recording, and it came out fire. Like, so it just goes to the point that sometimes we think that at the highest level you always have to be doing high level things and being in the studio and doing, but not necessarily.
These days, especially with the watering down of what a studio actually is. Let me not say watering down. I think a studio has been stripped of its glam, and a studio has become the essentials to what you need, like in terms of technical. Like, a studio is an interface that the mic can connect to, that you can send signal into your laptop. Like, that's all a studio is. So it's become much easier. So then that means a lot of things are more organic than you having to plan with teams and say, okay, can we meet at the studio? And, you know, now you have to come with ideas and whatnot, you know, just come to chill because studio time costs money. So it's interesting.
That's exactly true. But I just came out watching that stream thinking that, bro, I think somebody needs to do something similar in Kenya. Like, for example, imagine, like, I don't know, I just feel like it was just so insightful because not only were they recording music, Odumodu is such an outspoken character. So it was funny because they were just talking about random things. Because there was a bunch of, it was Odumodu TZ was the only other artist. Then the rest of the guys there was some producers. And this is just like part of like his entourage. Like, so they were all just like talking about random stuff, like, and it's funny and it's just like very like lighthearted.
It's human,
and I'm just like, bro,
it's like you're watching.
Yeah, it's just human.
Artists be humans, which is what they are in the first place.
Like imagine like an artist. Let's say Calligraph. I don't know why I've thought of Calligraph, was making a song with one of the urban tone guys like Tipsy G, for example, right? And then let's say Tipsy G was streaming, like, and he goes to Calligraph's like residence, right? And it's just Calligraph and all his people, and Tipsy G is streaming, and he maybe has like 3 of his friends, and they're all talking, and there's that clash of like age, because Calligraph is obviously older, and they're just talking and stuff. Like, it's so human. I feel like streaming is really where it's at, and I think it's just not. I think it's just not emphasized in our industry as much as it should. And I genuinely think people would be very interested to see the behind the scenes of like the music creation. Like if one of Nikita Kering's friends, for example, was streaming them making music, I'm telling you for a fact, there'll be so many people who are so locked in to see how Nikita Kering makes the magic that she makes. And then also hear the conversations that they have. I'm sure there's people who would want to like experience that. So anyway, I don't know. I just came out of that experience feeling very like, wow, I really love what Santi is doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would look. I mean, that would be cool if when we find a way to make it work, I think it will introduce a new culture. That would be it. It will introduce a new culture to our industry and our music scene. Yeah. And maybe that would be part of the change that we need, I think, in terms of just stepping out of the mold that we've been in for a while.
It'll be very beneficial, I think. So hopefully somebody's out there thinking about doing that, because, bro, when you figure out how to maneuver like on some of these platforms like Twitch, TikTok, because you could also like stream on multiple platforms nowadays.
Yeah.
When you're using things like OBS and all that stuff, like you figure that out, I really do think the algorithm will favor like positively on you, and especially because you're an early like
adopter.
You're an early adapter, exactly, of this new kind of niche. And to be honest, streaming is not new.
It's not new.
In fact, I would say it's maturing now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm saying, I was going to add, we're not far off too, because, if you look at the TikTok consumption, it's pretty high. And you just need to link that to, like, if a lot of people are going on live and we are watching that, then it's just a step away from that, even though it's a completely different app, which calls for different whatever. But then we're not very far off in terms of our usage of data and technology.
We're not, but we do have like ways to go, because even like in that Santi stream, like one big issue, and something that he even talked about while he was streaming, was internet connectivity, because they were like so happy that the internet didn't drop off, or like, and then everyone in the comment section were like, oh wow, the quality is so good, the internet. And I was thinking, when people are broader streaming, that's never even brought up into,
it's not even a thought.
It's not even a consideration. But you see, in the African context, like, we're still trying to have good connectivity and stuff like that. So when it's good, like, it's something to be noted, which shouldn't be the case, because it should automatically just be a thing, So that's just something interesting that I picked up on while watching that.
You do it. Start streaming.
Oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. I wish I was on the ground. I know a few people like Antoine. Antoine streams on on Twitch, but he mostly does it from his room. But if I was streaming, I'd actually want to do like IRL streams. Haha, shout out to IRL. And yeah, man, just do IRL streams. Cause bro, like actually, if I was going to sessions and streaming that would be really compelling. I'm sure people would like consume that concept. Hey, listen, we're giving you guys ideas for free. But I was gonna say, Sam, speaking of thriving on the algorithm, did you see how I snuck that in very like, bro, listen.
You didn't sneak that in. I saw that I saw that a mile away. There's no sneaking in.
Yes,
you
but
don't sneak in anything anymore.
No, but Sam, the audience don't know that. Also, I've been doing podcasting for a while now. Listen, I'm a veteran. I'm a veteran. I'm a veteran.
I think you're giving yourself too much. It's been 130 episodes of you trying to sneak in.
Man.
Sneak in. What do you call them? Segues. You're not as subtle as you think you are. But anyways, the algorithms. Let's talk about the algorithms.
So this is something that I've really been thinking about, and it's been on my mind heavily this past week, and just the impact and the vast amount of mystery. It's so shrouded in mystery, but yet it's something that really governs our day-to-day life, especially within the music industry. And I wanted to talk about it because a lot of times when people talk about the algorithm, it always sounds like something mystical.
It's in the air. It's like
you know what I mean?
It's almost like it's like I don't want to say a god, but then it's like a
it's like a deity. Like
it exists on its own, and it controls. It has all the power and all the wisdom in the world to make you succeed or not. It's an idea. Algorithm is an idea.
It's just an idea.
Yeah.
To some, it might actually be a religion, and I'm not even joking. But what is
the algorithmianity?
I'm an algorithmist.
Yeah.
I'm an algorithm.
You're an algorithmist. Yeah. That's the religion of the algorithm. Yeah.
Oh my God. So what is an algorithm? So if we're going technical, an algorithm is broadly a step-by-step procedure for solving a problem or accomplishing some end.
Yep.
That's like the broad, like technical definition.
But if we're looking
more...
Sorry to add on that. When it comes to like computers, because algorithms live on computers, right? It will be like a set of instructions that again aim to solve problems and aims to make decisions. So it's all programmed.
Exactly. And another description would be an algorithm is a mathematical set of rules specifying how a group of data behaves. In social media, algorithms help maintain order and assist in ranking such results and advertisements. Now, when we kind of zoom into music, what does that really mean for us? And essentially, the data sets will either be human beings or the music itself. And so the algorithm strives to kind of sort the mountain of information into more digestible piles for us. And that's how we end up like having algorithmic playlists, for example, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
To add, algorithms are just like when you think about AI, when people say that they're really afraid of AI and what if AI takes over the future, AI is what you give it. And algorithms are like that. Algorithms don't function on their own. All they do is they take data that they have been given and they create instructions and they try and solve problems and that. But then it's all reliant on the data that it is fed. It will not exist without any data. Like for example, the moment TikTok went live, and it was just one post on TikTok, it wasn't worth anything. But then the more people post And as you post, and then people start looking at your posts, and then now the algorithms are saying, okay, this kind of person looks at a specific type of post at this specific time of the day, and then it starts sorting out data, and then that's now what an algorithm becomes. I guess that's a simple explanation of it.
And just to hop on that, I guess you would say the algorithm has had a huge role to play in AI's involvement with generative tools, for example, generative AI. And that's kind of how they utilize those large language models and synthesize a bunch of information and are able to replicate that and make the perfect jazz song for 8 p.m. on a Sunday. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just
it's such weird stuff, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and so I say this to say that the algorithm, or this whole concept of the algorithm, affects various stages within the music ecosystem. And the first one being the music creation, right? And that's one of the ways we've just unpacked is through AI and all that stuff. But there's other ways in which the algorithm has also affected the music creation process. One way I've been thinking about a lot is even in how long a song is, right?
Yeah.
It's also influenced by the algorithm. An example people have been giving a lot was in 2019 when Lil Nas X made Old Town Road. And that song is only 1 minute, 50 seconds long, right? The music industry really reacted to that heavily and started prioritizing shorter songs higher than longer songs. And the knock-on effect is that people were more interested in making short form songs. And that's what ended up being pushed. Like, and that's still the case. There's a study that shows that nowadays the average length of a song like dropped significantly from 4 minutes to like 3 minutes 7 seconds, which in my opinion is still long. Because bro,
I mean, a 3 minute, yeah, 2 minutes and 30 seconds usually is what my brain allows for a song. Once it passes that 2 minutes, I'm like, oh wait, okay, he added a bridge on here, or she's doing something different. It's like it's so annoying because then I catch myself and I'm like, I used to enjoy those 6-minute songs with a 16-bar intro and the guitar solo at the end, and then just the beat playing. What happened to us?
I know what's happened to us, man. But
soft.
Yeah, I think. We are. But yeah, like the music creation process, if you're a purist, has really been compromised by consumption habits that have been, exacerbated, I would say, by the algorithm and what all these different like streaming companies as well as social media companies have prioritized. And I think that's a huge point that we need to also like talk about is why are algorithms important?
I mean, and sorry, before we go on, along with like the length of the song, I think algorithms have also forced us into a smaller pool of creativity in terms of in terms of now the creation of music, where you can tell something is doing well, and so you do that. It might not necessarily be a 1-for-1 copy, but then like people are now creating music for that viral moment. They're creating they're not creating a whole song to sound good. They might like the song might be okay, but then there's like 1 or 2 parts in the song that really resonates with people, and they can do they can sing over and over again. So then that pushes the song in like social media sites, because now people are now using that for their own lives. It's relatable, and so that in turn makes your song popular. So now we're creating for viral moments and like snippets. instead of like actual creating art, which some might say is a good thing. Other people might just say like it's the direction of the industry, and that's where we are now. So
Yeah. So I actually wanted to like talk about that like towards the end with the cons, but actually let's talk about it now. And you're right. The algorithm homogenizes like the whole music experience because it's gonna prioritize what it deems as interesting content to like the user base, right?
yeah,
And if people are primarily listening to songs which start with a hook like immediately and then have like a catchy like post hook or pre-verse thing and then ends pretty fast, like everybody's essentially going to like adhere to those structural rules, and then essentially what will happen is we'll all end up listening to the same song in different fonts.
exactly.
Right?
It's the same thing.
Yeah. And that happens, bro. That's happened to me as well, where it's like even the way I'm thinking about music production
Yeah,
is like an example I can give is back in the day, Sam, I always used to start a song and do like a 4-bar or 8-bar loop
just
of just
thinking
like an
about that. Yes.
instrumental,
Yeah.
and then build it up into the drums, right?
Yeah.
And that's usually how you start like learning about creating music. But nowadays, bro, you start with the drums and the bass and everything. You start with like the most interesting bit of the song, right? And then you can break it down after that. But even my own philosophy on making beats has changed.
So if you look at the most popular social media, and when we talk about algorithms and music, we are specifically talking about it. I mean, one of the ways we are leaning on the music marketing side, in terms of, or rather, that's where my brain is going, leaning on the music marketing side, in terms of like social media, and social media these days is primed for the hook. Like you see it everywhere. Like if you really want to do well in social media, you have to have a hook. Like there's something you have to start big with a bang and capture that person's imagination in the first few seconds, or you won't get long. That's one of the reasons why songs have become shorter. And we've lost the bridge. We've lost we've lost the intros. We've lost the build up and the whole atmosphere into creating the song experience. I think that's partly why now you start with the hook. You start with the thing that's really going to get you the eyes and ears that you need in order to push whatever art it is. And so primarily so with music. I don't know how that works with like paintings and whatnot. I guess it's slightly different. But then with music, that's where we are in terms now. You're now creating for a platform rather than
you are
just creating.
And which brings, so when we talk about platforms, and it brings the point I was going to talk about, which is the why. Like, why do algorithms exist in the first place? And they exist or are used or utilized by these platforms. For example, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Instagram, Twitter or X, Facebook. They're utilized by these platforms to retain the people who use them. And this is important because the longer you have people on your platform, the more money you are generating through ad spend.
Yeah.
Right? If you can justify to advertisers that you have, and this is just an arbitrary number, you have 1 million people like traffic through your platform at these times, you can really make a good case as to why you guys need this ad spend like put on your platform. You make more money, everybody wins. It's all fun and games, right? So it's really about audience retention, right? And essentially the platforms are going to prioritize content that keeps people glued to their phones.
Yep.
So I mean, that in itself is kind of like already a con of like the whole algorithm thing, because it essentially has the prevailing like theories around algorithms were initially it was created as a tool to like make the usage of social media more enjoyable, right? Because it's like Sam, like everybody knows I'm an Arsenal fan. I love football. I love anime
Sadly.
and stuff like that. So yeah, sadly, if I'm on social media, like that's the type of content I want to see, right? And it's gonna be a more enjoyable experience for me. You know, like I'm gonna see the things I like, and I'm going to engage with that. And yay, woo! I saw all the things I liked on social media today. That's great. But you see, the problem becomes when that like harmful innocent idea becomes something that's kind of now used to commodify me almost, or just make me like data set. I'm essentially just like, there's one place I was reading that says and this I'm gonna quote. The quotation says, "It's no secret anymore that algorithmic based media services are extremely addicting. The aforementioned animal analogy is particularly fitting due to the fact that users, that's you and me guys, are seen as much as such. They're seen as animals to be trapped." And there are
that's
no
that's a
qualms.
bleak. Oh, sorry, you're not done. That's so bleak.
It is. And there are no qualms to be had about this fact from executives. It is extremely profitable to do so, and some will outright state that that is their sole intention. The longer the eyes or ears of the world are engaged on a specific product, the longer the algorithm has to pull data from that event, and the better it becomes at using human psychology and behavioral science against people. Do you agree with this sentiment?
Yeah, that's. I'm thinking of the difference between animals and human beings. Animals function off instinct, and so it's very predictable in how they go about living their lives, right? The difference between human beings and animals is human beings have probably a higher reasoning capacity, and what the algorithms now is reducing that capacity into. Reducing that capacity into our likes and dislikes, and that's it. So it's called the filter bubble. There's many names for it, but it's called the filter bubble.
Yes.
Where we're just isolated into, or rather the algorithm isolates us into what we like based on the data we've provided it, and that's mostly our likes, our interests, our beliefs, the things that we've been exposed to, and the stuff that it knows that we will react positively to. And then that's actually pretty dangerous too, because then the algorithm or whoever programs the algorithm can program, they can tweak your likes and dislikes slowly till all of a sudden you find out that you are engaging in philosophies and thoughts that you might, and I don't mean that in like the drastic sense, but then just as a general term, philosophies and thoughts that you might not necessarily, you're not aware that you are participating in.
Exactly. So, Sam, just to stay on this filter bubble theory that you've brought up, and bring it a little bit closer to home in terms of music. So, how you'll observe this filter bubble happen to you is, everybody knows that Spotify is the best platform at curating sounds that you like, right? Everybody knows like the song recommendation, like Release Radar and the Spotify radios are so adept at like finding music that you like and that you've previously listened to, and artists, it'll find artists that sound like that and all that stuff, right? The problem with this is, if you, let's say you only like to listen to underground hip hop, like, and that's primarily what you listen to, right?
Yeah.
So Spotify is going to curate playlists, and then algorithmic playlists. It's gonna on your Spotify radio and your Up Next music, like it's gonna show you like some really dope. Don't get me wrong, it's gonna show you some really dope underground artist gems that you might never have found out if you didn't actually rely on Spotify's algorithmic playlisting. And that's great. But the problem is you're actually existing in an echo chamber, because you'll never really break out of the mold and discover other genres of music that you might perhaps actually like, right? Because it's gonna keep on feeding you the same thing. And so let's say you're only listening to an like underground rap like Joey Badass or something like that, you know what I mean? And you listen to artists like that. But who knows? Maybe you could find a song like from Sabrina Carpenter, for example, which is pop, that actually sounds really cool, but you'll never see that because you're only on one side. You're in a bubble, essentially, like you said. And that's all that you interface with, and you'll never have the opportunity to discover new stuff. And the problem with the algorithm, or one problem that people, or one frustration people have, is it's taken away the humanity in artist discovery. Because back in the day, things were curated by people. Like when we used to go home to watch The Beat, for example, right? It's a DJ who decided these are the songs that they're going to play on The Beat, right? And we listen to that. And so we're actually getting music information from the DJ. Like if it's DJ Pinye, this is what he curated for us. It's a human being who curated this music for us to listen to. But now, and you see, and human beings have diverse tastes.
Yeah.
You know, that's just our nature. But you see, the algorithm doesn't really allot for that, and you might end up just being in an echo chamber and end up just experiencing the same things, like I said earlier, in different fonts, and that could really, really limit your perspective. And it's very dangerous, like Sam said, because like in other situations, one way it happened to me was like I was on the side of TikTok that only promoted like all I used to see, like back when elections were happening for America. It's like all I was seeing was Kamala Harris is going to win, and Kamala Harris is this, and like there's no way Trump would win.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, Trump won. An example that's closer to home. Everything I see on my feed is well, let me not get too political, actually. I don't want to get too political, but it's problematic when you don't know what the other side is consuming.
Exactly.
Because it makes you very almost naive to the whole picture, is essentially what I'm trying to say. And that's a danger.
It is. It's definitely a danger. Just away from the political, like when you were talking before, there's actually, when I was thinking about it, I feel like there's a deeper level to the echo chamber that you're talking about. So Spotify prides itself on being the music discovery platform, right? But then you realize that, and it's something I've noticed, and it's been a complaint that I've seen around, right? Where I have over 2,000 songs maybe on my liked songs, like songs I just come across and I like them. So it puts it in that general playlist. I kid you not, probably 100 of those songs loop. So Spotify, even within its algorithm, has
oh wow.
So now the general algorithm, it has brought into my space songs that it thinks I would like, and I have liked those songs, right? Because it knows me, which is kind of, I hate that. I really do hate that. On a side point, go and find out how much Google knows about you. There's a way you can find out. Just go online, whoever is listening to this, and find out how, that
it knows everything.
That would be the most depressing thing you'd go through. But anyway, so Spotify has given me songs.
It probably even knows my.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, it probably knows my favorite flavor of ice cream.
At what? Probably. At a specific time of the year. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The data that stuff has, it's scary. But anyway, so Spotify has fed me songs that it knows I'd like, and I've liked those songs. And then now within those liked songs, it just repeats the cream of the crop. Like it's really reduced the humanity in in our music selection. But see, we don't care because we're operating off, I really like this song and I like that it's playing this song. And every time it plays a song, I'm going to listen to it all the way through. We don't have as much autonomy as we think we do in this. And that's, again, like you said, that's one of the cons in the whole algorithm-based curation and creation of music, where we don't really have much autonomy. It's being decided for us.
And so, yeah, it is. And I hate that. As a human being, I'm stubborn. I want to find things truly because I like them, not because somebody curated a reason for me to like them. Bro, this conversation goes really deep. I was reading articles about Shazam and the problems that Shazam poses. Because, on the surface, I think Shazam is a great tool.
It seems so harmless.
Or at least I thought. I thought it's a harmless, like, really nice tool. But you see, the thing is, Shazam only really shows you licensed music. And the problem with that is there are certain areas in the world that don't necessarily have licensed music. And so you could hear a tune that's from like some area that it's not licensed, and you put it on Shazam and it'll say, sorry, we can't quite find that track, or whatever it is they usually say. And the problem with that is that really limits people into what kind of music they're discovering. Essentially, you're only discovering what Shazam lets you discover, or what Shazam has access to discovering. And there are certain areas like Africa, like Latin America, like Asia, which we wouldn't necessarily always have licensed music. You know what I mean? But we have music, and so that's one limitation. But I actually wanted to talk about how they do this, like, algorithm stuff, or like what are the nitty-gritties. And collaborative filtering is one of the terms I came across that I found very interesting, because essentially the algorithm is going to recommend tracks to you based on user behavior similarity. So, how Sam, you said, like, they know your demographics, they know everything about you. So because they do that, they have the opportunity to A/B and compare and contrast Sam
in real time.
Yeah, and compare and contrast you with John somewhere else. And they'll be like, because John likes A, B, and C, possibly Sam will like A, B, and C. And so they use that as a way to, like, that's a part of collaborative filtering. It's why on TikTok sometimes our FYPs could be similar. Yeah. And you'll be sending TikToks with friends and you're like, yo, that was on my FYP. It's through collaborative filtering. And other ways that they utilize user data. So they'll lean on your listening history, the songs that you've liked, the songs that you skipped, and how long it took you to skip them. That's very important, the way.
I just hate it so much. I feel like I'm being watched.
Crazy. It's, bro, we're being controlled. The playlist that you listen to, they'll use song metadata, so the genre, artist, the tempo, the style, the label, the subgenre, the producer, the release date, etc. This one I found very interesting. They'll also use, or what will come into question with the algorithms, is raw audio signals. They'll analyze the song energy, its danceability, and its tone. Like, they'll analyze all those things, and also that's how we have the chill playlists, the mood-based playlist. Like, that's essentially what they lean on. And then they'll have collective filters, which actually we talked about in collaborative filtering. And then we'll have machine learning techniques for prediction, decision trees, and deep learning. So essentially, they just lean on the user habits. And this is for the music industry, but all the social media platforms essentially lean on these things and utilize them for, like, the playlist curation and what you're listening to.
There's something I started doing. My compromise, I didn't want to join TikTok at first. But then my compromise was, I'm not going to let TikToks, because my fight with social media internally, my internal fight has always been the algorithms. And it just, like you said, it just makes me feel like a robot. Like, how are the things I am excited about you fed them to me. Like, no, I want to discover them myself. So what was I doing? This I sometimes I mislead the algorithm, or if I start seeing TikTok show me, like, it might be something like, recently it's been a lot of like EDM songs for the summer, like Calvin Harris just released a really cool new song along those lines. So the algorithm has been showing me all that kind of music, the creation of that kind of music, and content in regards to that kind of music. And after the first day, I was like, wait, okay, these guys are going to push it. So I just completely shifted my tastes to throw the algorithm off. And it beat, because it's not smart. It just, it's like, oh, this is what you really wanted me to show you. So it started showing me other things, and I'm like, look. So I do that sometimes just so I can feel like I have a little bit of control. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's important. It's important to like seize control, because for something that was created to react to us and give us what we like, it's now almost shaping us, and shaping what we like, and that change is very, very concerning, to be honest. There's an article that gives an example, and apparently in 2015, Spotify had launched a feature that synced. So you know how people usually like to listen to music when they're running or jogging, right?
Yeah.
And so Spotify created a feature that was able, a similar feature to how like your phone is able to count your number of steps and stuff like that. And essentially using like technology similar to that, it could see how fast you're running or how slow you're running, what tempo you're running at, and kind of recommend music that's in that tempo, right?
Leave me alone. Let me live my life.
And the problem is that at what point do we really seize control of our lives and actually start to make decisions for ourselves?
Yeah.
And I mean, the problem is like, right now you might think you're a free thinking individual and you like what you like because you like it, but it's not true.
No,
it's not true. I like what I like. Afam likes what he likes because he's been programmed that way, and it's unfortunate, and it's an unfortunate realization to have. And it's,
I mean, but if you look at it that way,
it's something to think about.
Even outside of the algorithms, just in life, like, you are a product of your environment, so you're going to like the things that you have grown up, you're used to. Of course, there'll be a few anomalies here and there, but then mostly you're going to like what you're used to. And so social media has just taken that and concentrated it. Now, the problem with the algorithms is it is geared to keep us participating in whatever they want to participate. So it's not like life. Like, generally in life, the things you like that are shaped by your environment, it's a more natural way of just being, But then when it comes to the algorithms, there's a specific reason for it. I guess that's why it feels icky when you really think about it. That's why we feel like we're slaves to the algorithm, because we're not doing it just for the sake of being. It's really more so that we can stay on the platform so that they can sell ads, and we are a commodity.
And another reason why it feels icky is because we don't have access to information about it. Like, TikTok or Instagram or Spotify are never gonna tell you that the algorithm is going to change next week, right?
Not even close.
And the problem with this, and why it even affects a lot of people, like mental health wise, and why I actually wanted to talk about it, is because in the music industry, like, you realize that not 80, but like 60% of it is marketing at this point in time. It just is. Like, the music is great. You can have great music and just do nothing. You know what I mean? It's mostly about how are you marketing yourself. And the reason I think it's important to have these conversations is because a lot of times everyone is just pandering to figure out how to properly, like, appease this algorithm and blow up, essentially. And it sucks because, like, on TikTok, one day could prioritize songs that are, or videos that are 30 seconds long with 30-second clips of a song and you're lip syncing to them.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow that completely changes. And you could
With
you
no
could take
warning.
you could take with no warning. And you could take like 2 months before realizing the algorithm completely changed.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the things that you were doing, right, are completely null and void. And that might completely shift the way that you're making music, the way that you're
we're always
marketing
chasing.
it. And
always chasing.
And then you end up being gaslit almost into thinking that the things that you're creating and the things that you're doing aren't good enough. You know what I mean? And that affects people like mental health wise more than you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the problem is the algorithm has become a thing to kind of like enhance the capitalist greed that's kind of going on right now, because it's all about like retaining people on these platforms. The thing is, and something that I want to say is that it's only going to get the algorithm, or the way the algorithm works is only going to get better in terms of like they're going to get faster. They're going to figure out better ways to gain data.
Remember back in the day how
remember back in the day how hashtags used to be like so powerful.
Yeah.
And now they're not. And it's basically because like SEO is the thing. Yeah, SEO is the thing. Like all you need to do is mention something and the algorithm already knows what you're talking about and will already mold itself into that. You know what I mean? You don't even need to put hashtags anymore. Like,
it's crazy.
So the algorithm is only going to get better. And my point is, like, I think we just also need to figure out ways to kind of know what's happening and have that information, or at least know that this is a thing. You know what I mean? Because it's not going to stop anytime soon.
Yeah.
Right. So we just need to be knowledgeable and figure out where you lie in relation to the algorithm and how you can sort of use it to its, because it's not necessarily a completely detrimental thing. It has its benefits, but figure out how to be a user of the algorithm and not be used by it. Yeah, sorry, you were going to say something.
No, just in line of that, especially with the music marketing thing, there's a reason why TikTok has become really annoying, because I'm seeing that the same 5 types of promotion over and over and over again. Like I saw Calvin Harris sitting on a sitting on a porch, bobbing his head to some music, and I'm like, why does he need to be doing this? It's so what you talked about, the algorithm changing so quickly that we have to keep chasing it. What we are forced to do as creators now is appease it in the way that, okay, this is what's happening, I'm hopping on that right now. And it just kills all desires and to do anything different, like to innovate, to look for new ways to express ourselves. We are just caught because we know that this same thing is good. And TikTok did that really badly because TikTok started the use of sounds. So now we base content not only around a specific content idea, but now around a specific sound. And that has just completely, like, we would use the same sound and they'll do the content over and over and over and over and over again. You'll still watch them because there's a reason why you're there. But then, yeah, it feels very slavish when you actually think about it. When you're going through the day-to-day, you're just enjoying your life, you're getting your serotonin, you're getting your dopamine boosts. But then after that, I think serotonin was the wrong one. But then after that, you're if you really think about it, it just feels very slavish. But the algorithm has its place, I think. With all of this, I think there are pros. We've not really highlighted the pros. really highlighted the cons. But then there are still pros for it. But then I think if it's up to you, it'd be good just to step outside of the algorithm in terms of creation, and move for more of a human curating. Use your human creating abilities more than you use your AI. Use AI. I think it's just better for the industry. Because AI can only do so much, and human beings are infinitely creative.
Yeah. Yeah. And bro, and this is, I guess, the last thing I want to say about it. Like, I was watching Pink Panthers. She was talking to Zane Lowe. And she was talking about her like experience in terms of using TikTok, because she's very much a TikTok artist. That's how she blew up on TikTok, and using the platform to her advantage. And she talked about like the shift in which she's observed in the 4 years or 5 years she's been active. And it's concerning because she was talking about back in the day how her music, or like she noticed like there were communities like invested in finding niche artists and like really valuing that. How when you find like an artist that nobody knows about and you're excited and it's like only me and these people know about it, like we're a group, we're a family, like that feeling of discovering new artists and being niche is completely gone. She was just kind of talking about how now what's prioritized is like the audience only really likes music that's already going viral, and that's when everybody is like invested in the song and starts to think that this is a good song is when it's already going viral.
Yep.
Like we need virality to kind of tell
That's
us
the
that
ground
music
floor.
is good.
That is
Yeah, but
your
you see,
song
that's
being
the thing.
viral is the ground. Oh, I hate it so much.
But that's the thing, though. Like, good music is good because it's good, not because it's going viral, and that's a huge problem. But that's kind of the world we live in, and with the artists today, I'd have to tell you, in terms of advice, you just have to like know that that's the way the market is right now.
Yeah.
Like, have belief in your music and have belief that your music is good, but also you need to realistically figure out how to manipulate the algorithm to your advantage. So, I mean, just being realistic, that's just a thing. But the algorithm, man.
Virality is all about relatability. It's not necessarily about how good the specific art is. And so that's the problem now, where you start gearing art towards relatability, or forcing relatability into your art when it doesn't necessarily have that place. So, hey, it's technology, man. That's where we are in life. I guess we move forward, use it to your advantage, like you said, and figure out how to use it properly, and then also maintain your creativity within. Like, just be aware of it. Like, don't get lost in the sauce. Like, be aware of what your algorithms are doing. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And that's the conversation I really wanted to have about the algorithm. But yeah, let's talk about new music, Sam. It was a good conversation.
A good conversation.
What did you listen to this week?
Yep. Started with. Actually, I started with I started with all the songs that had AI covers. Because I'm doing a thing now where if your song has an AI cover, it needs to be good enough. So I ran through some of them, and it's becoming an increasing thing now to see songs with like AI covers as styles. And
nowadays we'll see even like 5 songs with AI covers.
Yeah, man. Like you can count.
It's concerning.
You can count them. But yeah, so I went there and it was a lot of the it's more. It tends to be used more by urban tone and gengetone. More urban tone than gengetone, but urban tone artists. So yeah, a couple of releases. Tesla, Mr. Kagame. Is that Kagame? Mr. Kagame. Released a song called Energy. Boondocks Gang released Shots. Jofes, Extrataniwa, Unspoken Salaton, which is becoming a very common pairing. No, it's not a pairing actually. Common group. Released Jana, and yeah, then I think at that point I got tired. Got tired of the AI covers. But yeah, VB teamed up with Sado For You, it's a ballad style jam. If you love Billy VB, I'm sure you'll like that. Modest Tabari and Billy Black dropped No Balance. That was interesting. Interesting with the production choices that Modest made. But yeah, it's cool to see Modest pushing his art more. I want to feel like maybe he has premiered this song, not premiered rather, but played the song somewhere that I've been in, but I don't really know, before it came out. Yeah, I listened to Moji Shot Baba. I know we don't really do a lot of Christian reviews, but listen to My Shayangu by
I actually
Moji.
liked that song.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I would like to see more Christian music. Not Christian. When you say Christian, it gets dicey, but more gospel music. I feel like gospel has its corner, sort of, and it pops into the popular scene once in a while. But it'll be good to see that more, I guess. Or maybe I'm just not hip. That could be it. Could be it. I didn't listen to too much more. Let me not lie. Let me not just start mentioning songs for the sake of it. But yeah.
Yeah, no worries. Bro, one song that came out that I'm absolutely upset about because of how short it is Goodbye Goldfish by Rumbi and Muthoni Njoroge. Like, Sam, honestly, that song, oh my god, it's so good, but like it's so short, man. Like, what?
It's for the algorithms.
Why?
We just talked. You're saying why? You know exactly why. We just talked about why for the past hour. It's because of the algorithms. Because if you really enjoy that song, and I'm sure he actually
I'm gonna play it
exactly
hella times.
Immediately. No intros, no outros, just a song. All you get is a song, and it's a smart play, I guess. You play a 1 minute song three times. 3 plays is more than, because if it's a 3-minute song, you play that once, you go. But if you play a 1 minute song 3 times, that's thrice the money you're going to get.
And remember, a stream is counted after 30 seconds. So wait. Yeah, it is. Yeah, a stream is counted after 30 seconds.
Yeah, don't get me to there's something maybe in another day I want to bring up this, how streams are counted and replays, because it's kind of interesting. And especially for an artist, knowing how much streams you're going to get, having like streaming, it all goes into like streaming farms, and like having, there's people who have playlists and they play the same songs over and over again and all that stuff. It's just interesting science, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a topic for another day.
It is an interesting science. I also listened to Tena na Tena by Odiwa Muranga, I Foolish and Diaso. I actually really liked it. Energy by Mr. Kagame and Tesla. Nazizi released with Ostad Sound Pambana. So Nazizi has been releasing, so shout out to her. That's a Kenyan legend right there. Tomorrow by Pietro and Mburu for the Afro EDM Unz heads. I think I also listened to Dim My Shine by Sibi-Okumu, Njeri, and for Mr. Frank White. I was like, where's Njeri on this track? For the longest time, when I finished it, I was like, wait, where's Njeri? Oh, well, they did a thing on her vocals. So I was like, oh, wait, I've been hearing her the whole time. Let's see. I also listened to Misunderstood by 34 Brick, Maurugwash, Olimo, and J-Lo. Bro, that's my song. I'm not gonna lie, that song was interesting. So I really like it. I really like Misunderstood. I would say, did you shout out to Yule by Wendy K?
I did not.
Well, I also listened to Yule by Wendy K. I thought that was a really good song. But Sam, do you want to introduce what we want to play for the end of the podcast?
Yeah. The song is from a gentleman called Jason Sibi-Okumu. He's been on my radar for a couple of years. He does interesting music, folkish sometimes. The song that really got me to listen, to get interested in his creativity, was actually, it's not too far back. Let me see when it dropped. He did a rendition of Three Little Birds by the late great Bob Marley. I just want to check when he released that song. February 2023. And so I was like, oh, interesting. So I've just been on his radar, just seeing what he released. So this week he released a song called "This Is My Life." It is my kind of, like, when you listen to the song, these are the kind of songs that my algorithms like to suggest to me, because this is the kind of songs I listen to. It's very folky. So yeah, that's what I want to play. It's different. I think it's slightly different from what we usually play, except from when we play Papa, which we haven't played in a while actually. Where has Papa gone? Where did he go?
I don't know. He went to buy some milk.
So he's not coming back. It's not the end.
It's not coming back.
My goodness. Oh, I can't believe that. Okay. Anyway, Jason Sibi-Okumu released a song called "This Is My Life," and This Is My Life. This is my life, and that is the song that I would like for you guys to listen to this week.
Convinced if I try, I will learn how to fly. I'm a little bruised up, but a little less shy. Hard running around the corner just to get ahead. This is alright, this is alright. Put a face to the name, I'm addicted to fame. It's a little messed up, but a little more brave. I'm learning how to wrestle with the doubt in my head. This is my life, this is my life. Won't waste a moment, make it through. Red out of Boston, see you soon. A yellow blanket at the foot of my bed, a broken record of the night that we met. Don't miss the moment, I miss you. I'm convinced, I believe, I relax to receive. It's a little less tough and a little more free. Done looking around the corner trying to get ahead. Taking my time, taking my time. Stick to the task, with the past in the past. It's a little more fun and a little less fast. I'm learning how to wrestle with the hurt in my chest. This is my life, this is my life. Can't waste a moment, make it through. Brand new direction coming soon. A yellow jacket at the foot of my bed, a happy memory of the things that you lived. Don't miss the moment, I miss you.
That was Jason Sibi-Okumu with "This Is My Life." Some very lovely tunes. Very broody, very emotional. Hope you enjoyed that. Like, I was going to say like, subscribe, and share. You see what the algorithms are doing to me. No, go show the,
because those are very important metrics
Yeah.
for the algorithm. It really looks at engagement.
Yeah.
So guys,
Go
please
show-
like, comment. By the way, Sam, this is why we usually, me and Sam usually have this question. Should we start asking questions? Because when you ask questions, people comment, and then there's more engagement for the algorithm. We're always just pandering to this stupid algorithm. I hate
pandering
it so
to the
much.
algorithm.
Sorry.
I was actually talking about showing the artists love. Like, if you do enjoy the songs,
Yes.
yeah, go show them love. Put them in your playlist, play them over again, create streaming farms. I did not tell you to do that.
Because
yeah.
because it's gonna help their music in the algorithm. So if you engage and like and add to your playlist, so please.
Yeah.
They need it more than you know.
We all do. We need it more. It's not just the influencers that need the
Yeah.
algorithms. The artists need it desperately. So Yep.
But guys, thank you guys for listening to the 130th edition of this podcast. If you're new here, I'd like to end the podcast with the 3 C's, which are essentially guidelines that I'm kind of trying to follow in my own life, because I am not perfect and I am still a wee lad trying to, maximize his potential as a creative. The first C is confidence. You need to be confident in your music, in the stuff that you're creating, because one, like, it's you. It's an extension of yourself. So be confident about yourself. And two, that's what people will consume. Like when people see that you're confident about your work, they're going to want to listen to it or engage with it. Number two, be consistent. Always be consistent in how you're creating as well as how you're releasing said creations, because we live in a world that's oversaturated, right? And the algorithm is only gonna prioritize that which it deems fit. And if you wanna succeed in this industry, you have to be consistent. And I'm not telling you to release every day or every week or even every month. But if you have a set plan to release twice a year, do that. And it's gonna pay a lot of dividends. And lastly, craft. Always work on your craft. Do something small, even if it's only 5 minutes a day. That's gonna progress you in your chosen career path. For me, usually I like to watch YouTube tutorials on how to make beats. I still watch YouTube tutorials and I try and learn as much as I can, because sometimes someone will do something small and I'll be like, wow, I never ever thought of doing that. And then I start integrating it into my music, and all of a sudden, the quality of my music is way better than it was. So always spend even 5 minutes of your day trying to be better or trying to gain more information. That's gonna essentially help you in the end. Sam?
Yep. Nope. Stay dry. It's raining outside for those in the local area.
Stay dry.
And charge your devices. Bye.
Oh my goodness. We'll catch you again on episode 131.